All right. I don't know who will be able to join this because it just went live, but uh, booting up not Hytale. I wish I could say I was booting up Hytale. Ugh, booting up Minecraft. Um, Shareable link. All right. Bird. 5 days left. All right. Okay. Let me close Discord while I'm at it. All right. Minecraft in time. Hardcore. World 32. We're doing it. 32. This is the one. 32. Themin. Get. I can't tell where those words break apart. I was going to try and read that username, but it's just one mass of words. Tepig. A stream before midnight. It's 5 p.m. on my side. It's actually relatively early. Lucky number 32. Tree. Okay, we got cave. We got plains. Or not plains, more like hills, but whatever. We got food. We got chicken. Got horse. All right. This is a good spawn. This I can work with this. Um I've done better with worse. Oh, the man. This is what I'm like. This is what I'm saying, where sometimes usernames are just like, I guess for lack of a term, like coagulated. Why is that the word that comes to mind? Why do I want to say a username is coagulated? Whatever. I will say, as much as I am hyped on Hytale, the new blog post today was kind of underwhelming because it pretty much just reiterated there is lore. You'll be able to find it in like archaeology, like you'll be able to decipher stuff from like builds and all that exist, and like and not dungeons, but like archaeology and the stuff you can kind of do. But what bothered me is it basically just said the lore's in flux, the lore's in flux, the lore's in flux. Like it's one of the things they're refining as they build up to adventure mode. Um, nope. This. Alright, here I go killing again. So, takeaways from the last run. Be smarter about the Ender Dragon fight. That's the biggest one. I forgot the head has a hurt box, or I forgot the hurt box was located in the head. So I tried to attack it from the head, and that got me killed. That said, I don't need 2 stacks of arrows. I need about a stack and a half, I think. I mean, obviously, if I can have more, great. Or if I just happen to have more, but I don't. I think I spent a little too long crafting arrows that last run, when I basically had enough. I had like near 3 stacks of arrows into that fight, and I didn't even get to use like half of them because I was too afraid to look up to fight Ender Dragon or Enderman. Um, the head does take the most damage, yeah, but it deals the most too. It's what killed me. I went from full health to dead from one encounter with the Ender Dragon head. Secret Party? I have no fucking clue because there's basically no interpretation of it that makes sense. Like I've mentioned before, like there are some things where I'm like I'm a little disappointed to say I just don't know. This is a step beyond that. This is a step where I'm like, what the fuck were they thinking with it? To just drop a weird, not even ARG, but thing alongside the release of a guidebook with inconsistent, like, kind of occasionally wrong lore. It truly boggles the mind. Um, like I don't know what to make of it at all because there's no. It was basically shadow dropped. Like there's no statements on it from like the Scott Games Twitter or Scott himself. There's no like out of universe text describing it in the book. Like to just try and gaslight us into thinking there was an ARG that I assure you never happened because we have incredibly like well kept documentation on scottgames.com. Um so truly a baffling piece of history. Yeah, I don't even know. I guess 2016 is a reference to Chica's Party World being like a thing mentioned in 2016. But like, unless something's going to happen with that, I don't get why it's there. Uh, my hope is that we get like an actual website to play through and experience. Uh, as like a kind of browser game interaction. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. That's more my hope. Is that they don't just imply something exists, never show it to us other than a few screenshots, and then we never get to experience like what it was about. There is so in my original plan for the Midnight Motors video I've been working on, there was supposed to be 3 interpretations, and I'm planning to write a 4th that's just insane nonsense, like the weirdest theory I can create in the scenario. Thank you for the $5, Crashmaster. Chic or Sega Party? What is that? Never heard of that at all. In fact, it doesn't exist. It never existed. It was an illusion made by William. I might try to create a bit that Chica's Party World, or the Chic or Sega Party doesn't exist. Like, I think that would be kind of a funny gag. Like, rather than just not acknowledge it, or rather than just say I don't know what it means. Like, in future videos, just be like, clearly acknowledge it without acknowledging it. Like, I don't even know how I would do this gag quite yet, but it would be something like, of course, it would be ridiculous if there was a strange minigame that talked about Chica being the one outside in Midnight Motorist, which it by the way, it kind of does, kind of doesn't. It's clearly referencing Midnight Motorist in that screenshot, but also it's a berry bush instead of a normal shrub. Chica is leaving footprint trails, while the animatronic outside specifically doesn't. And also, Chica's approaching from a different direction than the animatronic is. The animatronic or the costume, or whatever the hell it is in Midnight Motorist, is specifically approaching from the north, heading south, seemingly, based on how it's pointed and where it's located. The Chica's Party World image has Chica approaching from the west, heading east towards the window. So it's approaching from a completely different angle. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if someone working on the book just kind of went AWOL. Like, it almost feels like that. Because, from what I understand, it talks about things in kind of an incoherent manner in some spaces. Like, from what I understand, this was the same thing with Frights in the last Ultimate Guide, where it kind of tries to write as if almost every FNAF material exists in one continuity sometimes. You can read it ways that make more sense, but also just like sometimes if you glance at a sentence, it will sound like it's saying something weirder. It's a little hard to explain without like bringing up images of the Ultimate Guide. But there's a few moments where it almost makes it sound like baby is the same baby between the novels and games. I don't think that's what it's really saying, but I could almost read it that way if you weren't like paying attention. It's not written very intuitively. It's like and I think that's what kind of bugs me about the guidebooks. They have this weird like false flavor text quality to them, where they almost feel like they're written to be in universe, like comments or like jabs or jokes. Kind of like how the logbook is written. Like the logbook is written very like in character Fazbear material kind of humor and stylings, even though it's kind of not, but kind of is. Like the logbook or so it's very weird because it's like, what the fuck is happening? Why would I kill the spiders when this magic exploding green daemon can do it for me? I suppose the creeper wouldn't be a daemon. That's not an accurate description. Perfect amount. Daemon implies it's some kind of spirit creature. It's not. It's at most it's like a moss demon. Has it ever been confirmed what like this creeper's skin is? We know they literally have TNT inside of them from like gag sketches and artwork and all that. But like I know game theory ages ago speculated they were a form of plant exploding that evolved to explode to spread their spores or seeds and stuff. I actually kind of like that. That's always been kind of my headcanon, regardless of whether it's correct or not. Because, I don't know, it's a fun idea to explain such a weird mechanic for a creature to exist and how creepers can exist if they all blow up. Because they're supposed to look like grass. They don't really look like that anymore because they changed how grass looks, but in older Minecraft, grass was that kind of lime neon green. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna say, I think this Ultimate Guide somehow is worse than the last one. I haven't gotten a hold of it yet myself. And I don't think there's an Internet Archive version of the whole book yet, so I can't even, like, look it up free. But I'm just, like, left, like, what the fuck happened here? There's nothing I was do. That's too many. I really hope what is it? It's like the secret archives or whatever. Yeah, I think the creeper just needs to have its like color darkened a little. Oh, this is also a good world. Cool. Okay, this will work. Yeah, I mean, Tales and Secret of the Mimic cannot exist in one continuity. Not only is it like, it'd be one thing if it was kind of a Dragon Ball Super dynamic where the manga was written in a vacuum with only a few, like, Toyotaro would check on what's going on in the anime sometimes, because it was a little ahead of him. And he would like, oh, we're doing Vegito versus, whatchamacallit, versus Zamasu. Well, that's pretty cool, so let's do it. From what I understand, that's kind of how it worked. So it's like, they're basically the same story, but a lot of details and things are changed based on how Toyotaro interpreted things versus Toei and the animation staff. But it's not even that close. It's not even like, I can't even make it that argument where it's just Scholastic interpreting a story different. It's just a different story. Like, some of the very loose plot beats are still there, but like the order of events are so drastically different in some. I mean, I guess the order is similar. If I really give it some leeway. But there's just certain things that cannot line up. You can't have Fiona be dead before David's born and have Fiona be alive after he's born. Yeah, either way, my point is with Dragon Ball Super is that they are both written basically in a vacuum. With a few notes from Toriyama for what to do. But it's the same general story. It's just, like I said, each author's interpretation of certain specific details between the two. And some are bigger than others. You can really tell sometimes when comparing the Dragon Ball Super manga to anime, from what I understand. I've read a little bit of the manga, specifically things that are very different. And you can tell where it's like, clearly Toriyama did not have like any practical notes for what was supposed to happen here, because just like that's when it really diverges. I think Jiren must have just been a character design and a vague backstory in particular, because he's one of the more different things. So Caulifla, or Kale and Kefla are another major set of differences between the two. Like, they're just as similar. Clearly, with the character design, though, the kind of... I feel like Caulifla is more consistent than Kale is. Which, by the way, save for the universe 6 Saiyans getting Super Saiyan 2 too fast, I actually do really like that set of characters as our kind of parallel Vegeta, Broly, and Goku. In a timeline where things are balanced differently. But that's a side point, because it's funny, while Kale is very clearly meant to be more tied to the original Broly, Z Broly, she fits in the anime in particular better as a counterpart to the Super Broly, who's more meek and reserved and kind of acts out in the right moments. Or not the right moments, but the kind of struggle for control narrative, rather than the I am a berserker, I'm just kind of locked away in this alternate personality in the meantime. Anyway, well, I'm talking about too much about Dragon Ball. Yeah. Edwin's also real different between the two. I mean, like, once again, the premise is similar. I assumed, like, the same core notes were kept the same for him, but, like, the execution... The Edwin in the novels is... Or not novels, the short story is very different in his temperament and how kind of grumpy and alone he feels, in a way. He feels not like novel Henry per se, but he feels more like how movie Henry was handled, this kind of depressed, I don't know what to do with myself kind of tone, where he has too much to live for, but he doesn't want to, in a way. Like, in the movie, it's like, if he dies while Charlie's still like this, it's never going to be resolved, basically. It's kind of the vibe I got from the movie. And Edwin's a similar way. It's like, he can't just abandon David. And I don't think he really wants to kill himself, but, like, he has that kind of depressed, what do I do energy. while also being frustrated with David because he's not prepared to raise a kid on his own. And that feels more like the core of the problem with him. In the game, there's no implication that he would have been a good dad with Fiona around, because we see what he was like with Fiona around. He still had all the same flaws. They were just extremely exaggerated when Fiona left. And I'm not going to say which one's better or worse, because I don't really know which one I would argue is better or worse, but they're definitely different. It definitely feels like the short story makes Edwin's flaws seem more tied to Fiona's death, whereas I would say that's the main difference. Is the short story plays it off as like, well, if Fiona was just here, it would have all been good, and everything would have been fine. If a little broke financially. But the game is like very clear, like what Edwin's problems were from the start and how they lead to him as we know him. Like it's kind of like the idea of Doc Ock in Insomniac's Spider-Man. Okay. Let me box myself in a little bit so I can recover health and cook iron. I'm playing this way too fast and loose. Yeah, I will say I'm a little confused on the Chica stuff with Secret Mimic. Once again, kind of like what Collector was saying, where it's like I'm gonna have to check what the exact dialogue was for Chica's Party World stuff. I don't remember if they were contacted to make the equipment for Chica's Party World, so they kind of made Chica where like, oh, we were contracted to design Chica for the studio, or if the implication is that Chica already existed and they just had to make more costumes and suits for her. Okay. Now I'm equipped. Sire, thoughts on Foxy the Pirate? He's cool. Alright, next topic. I will say on the topic of like who created what, it definitely does seem like there's no ambiguity about Foxy being a Murray-Co character, though. That seems pretty clear to me that it's like he very much seems to be part of their roster. Along with Roxy and Monty. Or at least we don't know where Monty is from. If, he, whatchamacallit, if he existed prior. Do you think Daima is in the same continuity as Super, yes or no? I don't know. We don't really have a Toriyama now to confirm or deny what the hell happened there. I'd assume... Okay, if Toriyama was more of a... If he was more of a consistent writer in this specific genre of, like... Not genre, or topic of, like, continuity, consistency, and stuff like that, I would argue it should be the same continuity, or it should be different. However, Toriyama seems so fast and loose with how he does some of the specific world-building quirks. Especially around things like continuity and world-building and all that. Though he has really good memory for really random details. I guess just certain gags or details really, like, stick in his mind very well. But I don't think he has, like, a dedicated lore board, I would assume. Like, isn't there a guy that, like, George R.R. Martin contacts to make sure he didn't contradict something prior in the continuity? For Song of Ice and Fire / Game of Thrones. I could see Daima working in the super continuity if Toryotaro wanted it to be. You know? Yeah, I would argue Daima might just be a quirk of Toriyama having a different... That scared the shit out of me. I'd assume Daima's continuity errors come from Toriyama having his own kind of internal timeline that's probably a little different than how we know the story. Hello, Nara Raven. Welcome. Yeah. Okay, 18. Then, okay, we're shy. 1 major iron. All right, this world's fine. I'm a little worried with progression in some spots. Because I'm a little worried I'll have to go further down. And I feel like cave time is a lot of wasted time, typically. Or not even wasted, but it's a lot of time I sink that often isn't quickly rewarded. It also feels like it's something that accrues a lot of random junk in my inventory. A bigger question for Dragon Ball's continuity stuff is, I wonder how, like, the community as a whole would react if Toryotaro truly became, like, the new head of Dragon Ball, if in a way. Like, it was just put up to him to manage the continuity moving forward. Because I assume it would be different, and some people wouldn't consider it the true canon anymore. Just like how some people kind of have a limited view on stuff like Ghostbusters or Star Wars, where it's like, well, it's not quite the original anymore or whatever. But I think, while it would be different, I wouldn't mind if that happened. I don't think that will happen. I don't think Toryotaro is going to have such a long-term influence, but I actually think it would be kind of cool if it did. If he did. If he stayed as, like, the new Dragon Ball guy. Because Like, there's not really a good other pick. Unless we've retroactively learned that there was some guy on, like, the Toei staff that Toriyama was like, this is Mr. Mrs. Dragon Ball 2. I don't really know, like, how else Dragon Ball would stay existing, because I doubt it's going away forever. I will say, in that specific regard. I feel like Dragon Ball's a little doomed to be a forever franchise. And I guess if it is, I would prefer Toyotaro, the approved successor to Toriyama, on his own hands. And on his own terms. To be the new Dragon Ball guy. You know, if it has to be someone. If someone has to do more manga, more content, or whatever, that's the timeline I prefer. Don't really want to interact with spiders. I will say, the poison spiders in mine shafts have always felt like a... you're just kind of fucked section of, like, caves and all that. Have you ever talked to Hogman? I'm scared. Yes, I very much have. Don't Hug Me is one of my favorite internet series of all time. I think once it had dawned on me that it was a dark comedy, not a horror series, like, my enjoyment of it, like, quintupled of a thing I already liked, if that makes sense. Because once you watch the show version of it, it's very clear that it's not trying to be actually that scary for most of its runtime. Ooh, that's interesting. Can't really do much. Okay, and this is what I was looking for. This is why I was even bothering being at the depths this low anyway. Because don't get me wrong, Don't Hug Me kind of works as a demi-horror series. But it's so good at being funny with its weirdness that it almost, like, feels like a waste of it to try and make it like a... I don't know, to put it into terms that, like, this group of people will probably understand better, like a FNAF VHS style horror thing or whatever. Yeah, Duck's personality overhaul and, like, the puppet improvement, very noticeable between the original show and the final. Because he's had probably the least defined personality of the original three. In 1 through 6, we just knew he was smarter than Yellow Guy. And that was kind of it. Like, he wasn't quite the dumb doofus, but he wasn't the dry, kind of sarcastic humor of Red Guy. And that was kind of his entire personality in the original. But it's like... the fact that he's kind of almost a bit of a right-winger in the final version. Or that kind of, like... I guess in the American concept would be kind of the grumpy patriot. But it's British, so I don't know if that even applies. And the fact that it's, like, I don't know. There's more personality there, is my point. I would have to, like, review it and try to describe it again. But that particular, like, quirk on his gag of, like, the military must be strong. Far too weak. I don't know. It's just... it's a weird... like, it's not the direction you would think they would go with him. It's part of what makes it funny. He's not a character design that screams that as a bit. You know what? Fuck it. we're doing diamonds this run. Purely because I know this will change nothing, but it'd be funny. Since this is a good cave, I have tons of food. I've never really tried to grind out diamonds for one of these hardcore runs. I've always kind of played it fast and loose with iron and all that. So what do I need? I need 3. I need 2 for an enchantment table minimum. Let's say 3. Well, if I'm getting an enchantment table, I would need 3 for a pickaxe too. So 5. And then... So that's minimum 5. We have 5. Let's say 2 for a sword. That's 7. So we have 2 left over right now of the current setup to put into whatever the hell I want. Yeah, it'll make me safer and less nervous, but also a lot of the things that kill me are not tied to damage taken, really, is the thing to account for. A lot of the things that have really messed me up are outside, like, extraneous factors, like falling into lava, which diamonds will not save you from. If you are falling into a pit of lava, you are dying without a fire resistance potion. It kind of reminds me of, ooh, more. Wow, that's a lot. I was playing, I play a decent amount of Marvel Rivals in my spare time. And I had a teammate, I was playing tank forcefully, by the way. Like, I did not start the round as tank. I switched to help the solo tank we had. And then somehow I ended up solo taking by the second half of the game. That's a side point. That's lesser to this topic. The main point I'm getting at is, bleh. My brain's loading, hold on. Right? They were upset at me that I wasn't playing Magneto in the forced solo tank position I didn't want to be in. And I wasn't playing Magneto because I'm not a good Magneto, A. And B, they were like spamming other shield tanks. They had Strange Magneto, I think, were their team comp. Or I think the secondary switched every now and then, but it was Magneto. The enemy team had a good Magneto, so I would just be doing a worse Magneto on our team. Was what kind of my thought process. So I'm like, oh, I might as well play Thing since he's good against shield tanks. Because he doesn't check for the shield because he's technically doing a melee attack with his right click and it's percentage base. So he deals a lot of damage to tanks. A. This might kill me. I'm saved by the water. I would have died there if it wasn't for the water pushing them back. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, a shield tank, like, playing Magneto, what in my opinion wasn't really a viable answer in the scenario I was playing in. Or it wouldn't have been an insta-fix. But oh boy, did my teammates think it was. They were convinced that if I had just played Magneto from the start, and I did switch, mind you. I did start playing Magneto. But they were convinced that if I had just switched, like, sooner, we would have won the game, like, in a landslide or whatever the fuck. Even though Magneto doesn't, like, he's a good character. He's maybe the best tank in the game. But just playing, like, if you've ever, like, played a competitive game, like a fighting game, with someone who knows what they're doing and you don't, you should know that just picking the meta character does not win you the round. There is no secret switch that enables you to... Okay, let's divide this up. I'm getting a little sidetracked. Okay, 14. I'm not interacting with that. The skulk is way too dangerous. Like, some people think... like, that if you just play the meta guy, you're winning or you're doing better. But that's not how games work. Yeah, meta is not the automatic win, especially if you're not comfortable with the meta character. Like, in this case, I am not a Magneto main. I practice him every now and then because he is a good character and he's a good thing to have in your kit. Like, I want to be a good Magneto someday, but this was in Plat 1. I can't just, like, drop a character I'm not good at into the lobby and expect to win. Because playing Magneto isn't that hard on paper. Like, his kit, it's not an auto-win kit, but it's a kit that's like, okay, there's not an inherent, like, his shield doesn't require a specific skill to make function. You just press shift and the shield appears. Unlike other characters where it's like, sometimes their base ability to get it to do the useful shit requires more inputs or more complicated usage. But... I guess I just block. I know that's horribly damaging for my shield, but like... yeah, I guess they just were upset and wanted to blame someone, and admittedly, I wasn't doing amazing in that lobby. I could have done better. It wasn't my best round in any regard. So they wanted someone to blame, and I guess I'm like, oh, I have the least impressive looking stats and stuff in the moment. Or not even stats, they can't see stats. I mean, they kind of can, but like I said, it feels like they just wanted the person to blame. And unfortunately, that was me. Well, if this run doesn't die in the nether, this is definitely the most stacked equipment I've ever had for a run. 36 gold. 21 diamonds. I think I counted wrong there, but you got my point. I'm going to try and slowly head. But maybe I shouldn't have switched. I don't know. It's one of those I would have to think more on that round. Truly review like my playstyle and what was working, what wasn't. This is not a Marvel Rival stream though. Anyway, what's going on in chat? Marvel Rivals is balanced a little bit more around casual play. They do consider like higher level stuff though. Though it's usually not. Oh, 2 dungeons. This is a weirdly lucky, I guess, world technically. Wish I could use that or something. Though it's sort of lucky in a way where it's like, I don't know what this will really accomplish for me in the long run. This is a huge cave though. Like I'm like, I keep thinking I'm going places I've already been. And then I'll realize, or like a bit in that it's not quite at. But I need to get up. I have too many diamonds and shit to lose. Diamonds should give me everything except I won't have like a full set of equipment. For example, I won't have full diamond armor. Not that I need that, but specifically if I want an enchantment table or anything like that. Oh yeah, name tags are getting a recipe, which is cool. Felt like a bit of an overdue change if they were willing to do it. I always assumed there was some like internal like Mojang mandate that prevented it. Based on the title Abyss, I'd assume the next FNAF game would be the follow-up to Ruin, since that's deep underground. Or at least that's where Cassie left off in both endings. But I can't speculate much more than that. And or you're going deep down to save Cassie as Gregory or something like that. Where did you even come from? That was a genuine he's right behind me, isn't he, kind of moment. I don't even know how that happened. What's your take on Movie Charlie and Michael? I think they're fine as alternate versions. I wish they had a bit more nuance and time to them for what they are. I mean, Movie Charlie has definitely enough time on paper. I just don't think it's all used particularly well. Like, I feel like more could have been done with that time. You know? Oh, hey. Well, I don't want to make the portal here. So... And I'm going to make a pick anyway. Okay, let's convert this into something of a base. I mean, I guess I could make this portal. No. Why not? Like, I easily could... It's not how I thought this would work. Like, I suppose with this much gear, it doesn't matter where the hell I make the portal. Might be fine just to get it over with. This also gives me a sense of what's underneath the lava. getting the obsidian out. And if I do it this particular way, I don't have to waste the water. Okay. Okay, just let's remove entirely stuff I can't use in the nether. Gold that won't do anything for me. Okay, let's toss that, toss the old sword, or toss the old axe. Get a new one. Okay. I could even go into the nether with enchanted items, too. Yeah, but yeah, to finish my topic more, I was a little distracted from that. I wouldn't mind if Michael had more of a clear reason why he was there. Because there's only given motivation in the movies that he wants to continue William's work. Seemingly, I guess, just because he's his dad. Like, there's not really a given other reason. I'm gonna try and get enough for a portal in the nether, too, so I can just leave that way. Yeah, Movie Michael is kind of just William Jr., and I'm not quite sure what they're doing with that plot beat other than a way to have kind of William as an antagonist in the movie without having William actually be the antagonist. Yeah, and not movie Charlie's weird. I don't mind her as like a more vengeful character, but it's kind of interesting that she's not even the vengeful spirit that people like headcanon in to try and explain things. She's kind of a completely unique take on the character. For better or worse. And I do wonder if the implication is, like, without the Bite of 87 to, like, or Bite of 83 to, like, humble Mike, he becomes, like, he kind of becomes like that, or if it's just a different continuity thing. People are trying to, like, use the movie to prove this is how Michael should be characterized or whatever. I really don't think so. I think that that'd be like arguing that's how Charlie should be characterized. And I just don't believe that. Or at least I don't believe it for Charlie. So I don't think the movies are a inherently reliable sense of continuity and all that. I get this kind of feeling personally that dual process theory? What about dual process theory? I do get the feeling that the movies are kind of trying to be almost the fan-interpreted timeline, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of fan references to how, like, old theories worked and interpreted the lore. It feels like. Bundle. You can't even get through there. Okay. Or at least like it has to be made like consciously made with stuff from the fans in like mind for how they interpret the series, because like there's certain decisions that I feel like not even like decisions in like filmmaking, but like decisions from a fundamental story design, like this doesn't make sense unless you're trying to kind of reference the fandom's sense of things. Okay, if I do that, then I do 7 this way. Okay, what if I do 7, 5, that becomes toughness. What are the stats in the boots? Toughness. So I get more diamond equipment, but I won't get a sword. So let's do that. So that doesn't give me a sword either. So if I do this, that gets all my diamonds, but I don't get the sword out of it. I mean, I could just find more diamonds later. I'm a little torn on how to do this. I think this provides more net. Or 3. Let me just make damn sword. Bite the bullet. And okay. Let's see what protection. Okay. Oh, 3. Oh, that disappointed me. Then gold helmet's always the most efficient thing. I should enchant based around the... Yeah, I'll take protection too. Guess I'll do diamond boots. It's 1 short of the pants too. But I'll do the boots. Okay. This is not quite the enchantment rolls I was hoping for, but whatever. It'll work. The fact that we have diamond gear at all, I think, is the step up. Lapis won't matter in the nether. Let me quickly enchant the sword while I'm at it. Bane of Arthropod sharpness, sure. Both gone. Okay. Alright, let's nether it. "14 theory? I don't really know what to say about 14 theory at this point. Zero, 100, 94, portal. And I might not even need that coordinate stuff. Ooh, this world's rough. Which way do I even build with this one? Because that's just a chasm of death. Yeah, I might have to use... Okay, I'm gonna use my bundle a bit. So I have a bit of anxiety about this spawn world. I don't want to lose the enchantment table. Yeah, I think my main interpretation of Michael is that he doesn't entirely understand what's going on. Honestly, like, that's how I kind of view his actions. Okay, that's my adjustment on the... so I don't have to come back to this portal. Yeah, 14 theory is fine. I wouldn't be surprised if it was wrong, but I also have no reason to believe it is wrong. Aside from, like, arguments against Cassidy and the Vengeful Spirit stuff. And I guess that is the make or break on 14 theory, is, like, it kind of... the connection is at its best for Cassidy as a Vengeful Spirit. It's kind of the main premise it toys with. So if you take that away, it becomes a bit of a weaker theory. And I don't know what the purpose of it would be otherwise, really. Do I even get mushroom stew stuff when I have enough food? Considering it. I mean, it takes a very little inventory space. It's 2 slots. Until I get the... by the time I run out of enough equipment to need mushroom stew, I will have the spare inventory to do bowl stuff. Fortress? Please? Yes! I'm like, this is a huge open space. That's usually where they spawn. Okay. Well, this is not a bad sign. I will probably have to build out of this one. It's a little concerning that the blaze spawner's right there, because that means they can shoot me on my way down. Alright, I'm not 100% sure how I get down there with that. I mean, I can boat down, obviously. But I don't think I can make that distance. Now I probably can. It's just a risky strategy. Okay, we'll Viking it. I almost overshot there. This is kind of incoherent. Okay, let me break through here a bit. not spawned yet. Fire. Let me... Yep, okay. Oh, of course you spawn on the outside of the rail. The rule of thumb I've learned is always hide when on fire. It seems like such a basic condition to kill me. I mean, we're already... I'll have to make a new shield soon. But... this is actually a pretty good scenario. And I feel pretty confident that I could... Really? I don't have any wood. I can't make a new shield if I want it. That's very concerning. Okay, fuck it. I have an idea. I thought this was the version of golden apples that made you fire immune. That was not a good idea. I mean, we're already at 8. We already have the bare minimum. I guess why waste shield durability? Maybe I'll kill like one more. Or I'll kill the next spawn cycle. That should be about good for my shield. Wow. So I guess I didn't properly associate how strong fire really made the resistance really you got from it. Huh. So I must be able to go upwards, right? Because I can now leave the nether almost anytime I want. I mean, it will make ender pearl grinding a pain in the ass. But so, if I can find a wood source anywhere here. What? Oh. Shit. Okay. Wither, actually very dangerous. Not so much with the armor I have for the base damage. I instinctively... I'm glad I have diamond. I would have died there. If I didn't have diamond, I would have lost the run there. I'm annoyed I angered the piglins. Or pigmen. It's specifically... the last major thing I want, or I'm kind of looking for, is nether wart and a warped forest. The lack of... okay, well, there's the nether wart. I don't need more than... Um, what's the best way to leave here? Because I really don't want to do trading for ender pearls. Well, fuck, that's cool. That gets me a helmet. Diamond helmet's cool. And I have a shitload of gold that I'd be wasting if I didn't use it here, basically. Okay. You pigmen shouldn't be angry at me. You... Okay, just one power shot. Tier? Gas tier? Oh. Because the warp forest will drastically save time on ender pearls. It's I guess maybe not a technical requirement, but like I don't want to be the one who plays the game without it. So red forest we go, get some wood, get a new shield, find warped forest, get a stack of ender pearls. It'd be cool if you could make like a bone shield. I feel like bones are so plentiful and they kind of make sense in that context. Maybe give it like unique brittle kind of properties. Give it to pig, but give it like a counter, you know? That would be cool. Give it like a parry mechanic the base shield doesn't have. This one's great. This might be the one. Why are there so many removed biomes? I don't know. Feels like Minecraft in general is very prone to weird, changed ideas and development. Like, early Minecraft feels so different in so many regards from the final game. Okay. Guys can have that. You guys can have that. Now the work can go away. I don't even have... Water bottle's full, but I can't really use it this month. I really appreciate the arrows. I also appreciate the ender pearls. Did I lose my boat in that encounter? I did. You Go in here. Man, these guys take eons to die. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. What else can I kind of throw away? Okay. Well, new shield acquired. Accidentally really pissed Pigman off. Not a fan of that. But most of them don't know, so it's fine. Okay. Just through the wastelands I go. 3's a good head start, though. Not sure how worth it was for that many. Whatchamacallits. Things, but I got a ton of arrows. That might be worth it single-handedly. Like a stack of arrows freshly made, I think is a worthwhile trade-off. And there's the Warped Forest. And a Bastion. I don't care about the Bastion, though. Bastion has just been suicide every attempt with it. Like, I am not skilled enough to execute the true value of the Bastion. Guess I'll... collect gold, maybe get some more trades in. It'd be kind of funny if I ended up finding another fortress. You know, since I don't know when I'm next going to find Pigmen, let me... get some more trades done. They should add backflips to Minecraft. Does it make sense? Is it practical? Who knows? But it'd be funny if they did, so that's why. I'm a little upset I didn't get... a fire resistance potion, since I feel like I can still die to stupid nether nonsense. Trademarked. But of course there's a fortress there. That would have been ideal if I spawned in there. But I can't even use the fortress. Really? How do I get... I mean, that's the gap, I guess, but that sucks. What do I think of the Minecraft movie? It's fine. For the gag kind of comedy it is, I think it's decently funny. It does feel a little it's a specific, almost kind of breed of how do you do fellow kids, if that makes sense. Like, they understand what makes something ironically funny decently enough, but they're trying to be that so much that I don't think it comes off cringy per se, but it definitely comes off as trying really hard in some regards to be that kind of funny. I wouldn't argue Scott's original intention with Tails per se, because he has no statements on it, which, unlike with Frights, where like, I don't know. I mean, maybe he intended it to be... Oh, cool. I got that achievement. This is not an amazing work forest. Everything's, like, really scattered messed up. I mean, maybe. I don't know. With Tails. I could go either way on the Tails games debates. Or not on the Tails game debates, but on the, like, what was the intended viewing order and all that. Ow. That really scared me. How do I pull this off? Where do I even go in this workforce? It's so vertical. Okay, they despawned, so I can cross this now. What has better quality of stories, Tales or Frights? I think they're about the same, I guess. I would have to, like, look at a list of what came from each. The later half of Frights is, I would say, weaker than most of Tales. But I also feel like, for what the runtime of Tales is, it had more of those kind of missed stories, proportionately. And more stories that I don't really see the value in. I think I like more of the Fright stories, but there's also more Fright stories in the first place. I will say, Frights has the way better epilogue series. Like, and it's not even close. The stationary stickers, for all the flack the fan base has, like, given them over time. And for all the flaws they genuinely do have, I really like Jake as a character. Larson's pretty cool. I don't know if I like him as much as Jake, but I also don't know if you're supposed to, like, find him as endearing as you're meant to find Jake. You're supposed to root for him though, and I do. Like, he's... I kind of like having such a straight man to the insane asylum act to... Okay. I didn't mean to hit him there. That wasn't a super close call, but that freaked me out. That could have killed me if I wasn't... If I was using the same shield I started with, that would have killed me. Because they melt shields of the thing. It's not even that hard to avoid damage from them. stealth shields. But yeah, I don't really like the mimic stingers that much. They're not poorly written in particular, or they're not particularly worse written than the fright stingers, but they're not. The premise of them is just fundamentally not as cool, and it is a lot less ambitious and interesting feeling. The mimic the mimic stingers feel almost like another short story that's just assembled over a bunch of books. The fright epilogues kind of feel like a real addition to the full fright experience, you know, like you get a little bit of it at a time. You're learning a little bit more about the world with each short story, and it's kind of adding to your fright experience as you go. I don't really get that experience with the mimic stingers. I would have rather just read them all at once, or just have them be one story or something like that. I guess you do learn, like, I guess on paper they apply to the same skew, if that makes sense. I'm a little curious to what's in this fortress. Like, there's a entrance right here I can just run through. Check if there's any chests. I don't feel entirely invincible in this world, but I do feel much stronger than I usually have been. Got a lot of chests here to dig through. Gold. Iron. I think I'll actually pocket the flint and steel. Save me a trip out. Gold. There are some piglins I think I can trade with, so that's worth it. Wait, is this new? Might as well not be. No. Okay. Okay, I've been there. That doesn't go anywhere. Diamond horse armor is not really necessary or worth it. No. This is a big one. I will say, if the second interview with Scott Cawthon did anything, it really taught us how many levels of messed up security breaches development truly was, beyond just like the things we assumed or thought. Like, we all knew something went wrong in development, but the depths of how bad it got was truly unknown. Okay, so I should be able to just leave through here. Yeah. So yeah, I have a way out too. Hopefully this will bring me to a better place to farm Endy boys. Like, right here. Come on. Don't let me get shot by the Enderman. By these fuckers. Okay, this is not a good place for it. I'm gonna back off here. So where are we at? 7? Halfway there? a little more. So but yeah, like I said, I just don't feel the Mimic stories were as worth it as the Sprites ones were. With that said, I don't, like, hate them. It just feels like they don't add much. Particularly. And I feel like the Mimic stories add more to their respective stories. They feel more, slightly more planned in the first half. They feel less planned in the second half. And like I said, they have a more interesting premise. They feel like they're saying a little more, if that makes sense. Like, the Mimic story just feels like a horror segment. I don't think it's really giving us an interesting character to kind of interpret or like think about, really, other than a few key lines and all that. I think that's my other major problem with it is, you know, the Stitch Rate story isn't the deepest thing ever, but there's interesting characters I kind of want to know more about, and I can't really say the same for the Mimic characters. They're sort of generic teens that get killed off, and the most interesting thing is the Mimic itself. And we only get to see from his perspective a couple times, or learn a few things about it that don't even seem to carry over or anything like that. Not that the Stitch Wraith really carries over, but, you know, it carries through to the rest of the story, and it helps us understand stuff like that. Okay, I'm gonna do this just so I can... There we go. I felt confident I could get it to... I guess I just felt more, in general, rewarded for engaging with the Mimic. Or not the Mimic, the Stitch Ray stuff. On a relative scale. I stand by that FNAF really should have a Mimic, like, comic series done by, like, Dark Horse or something like that. Or Dynamite, or really any studio. I don't think DC or Marvel would really fit it very well. I feel like part of FNAF's identity is that it has these sort of semi... indie studios and stuff behind it. Like, not true indie in that they're not, like, small, single-handed studios, really. I mean, it was with Scott, but, like, it hasn't been that in a long time. Boom, is that a comic studio? I'm not familiar with what they've done. Are there no normal pigmen? That's a better upper area. The number one thing I have to remember is to not get too greedy about the biomes and encounters here. That really messed me up in the prior attempts. that even with all this equipment, just one bad encounter with an Enderman can still kill you. Okay, since this is a good flat area, I think I can win a fight against an Enderman one-on-one. Especially if I have this placed. Yeah, if you... There we go. Yeah, okay, this might work if I specifically abuse the environment I have down here and like lure and bait that way. Okay. Come on. Did that one die? What happened there? Oh, I accidentally aggroed a bunch. Why aren't they teleporting? Oh, well, one of them did. I wish I could shoot them. This might be a worthwhile encounter. Specifically if it leads to good potion stuff. There we go, it does. That was worth it. Okay, so there's... Can you grow up? I need to trade with you, and you don't do that right now. Pretty sure the Enderman I looked at despawned. Probably did by now, right? They did not, but they might as well have. That was interesting. Okay, you. Get down here. Why didn't you go? Why didn't you go down thing? Please, I need to trade. Do baby pigmen even grow up? I mean, I'm almost there. I have, like, me make a new shield. And then I can continue with this strategy. Like I said, not the most like savory, safe strategy, but like I'm kind of stuck not progressing. So you. Let's keep it at 2. Why aren't you aggressive? Come on. Boat. Go in the boat. Okay, thank you. This is a problem. Well, I guess I'm done. Alright, I got 13. That's good enough. I don't have my boat anymore. I can't make a new one. Right? Can't make a crimson boat. No, that'd be silly. Alright, well. Next stage. Like, I'll just have to be content with that, because I can't safely get any more. Oh, you do grow up! Take this! Are you fucking kidding me? And there goes all my gold. Well, that was a story arc. Alright, let's see if we can get the hell out of here. Well, I have, like, everything I need, really. Like, I can enchant a little bit more equipment. So I can make a helmet. But otherwise, this is basically the setup. Okay. That's good. Okay. Well, I'll just use this. I'm not digging straight down. I have no reason to go down anymore. Except for when we get to the end segment. Don't need tough. I can probably find that. Yeah. So with 10 blaze rods, we have more than enough for whatchamacallit, for making strength potions. I didn't get glowstone, so rip on that front. I'm not going to make the helmet until I get to the stronghold. I never got wool. That's actually kind of concerning, because it means I have to deal with phantoms. I mean, what more could I ask for? Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, you guys can't hurt me in a way that matters, so... Actually, you guys act as a speed boost, if anything. Well... Yeah, there's more diamonds I can potentially get this run, so that's why I'm not making the helmet just yet. There's a chance I can still make pants, which would be the better... leggings, I guess is what it's technically called. I was trying to remember what it was really called in-game. But, okay. Got building blocks. Galore. I don't really need the gold nuggets anymore. Especially when I had... Oh, I don't have actual gold. Well, that actually throws a wrench in the works. I think what I'm going to do is sort of... Oh, finally, something I can use to make a bed. For starters, I need to kind of settle down a base. And... and let's get rid of the gravel for... Come on. Alright, I need it to be daytime. I need to settle down. I need a more diverse food source, because I'm kind of running low on my main foodstuffs. I need another bow, so I'll have to chop down a normal tree at some point. A whole lot of, like, small-time resource gathering I need to do. I'll take that iron shovel, actually. Fire charges I don't need. Oh. Arrows, okay. Alright, plenty of experience for enchanting any final pieces of equipment. Let's... Okay. Let's start sorting out some crap I've got. Okay. Okay, put that away quickly. Boop. Technically, I need water more than anything. Alright, now... Get gravel. Finish off this shovel. Okay. That did nothing. Don't need the flint steel anymore. Might as well repair my shield. Don't need the seeds. Sugarcane, I guess, are technically useful for final bit of... Which is glass bottles useful. Nether wart's technically useful. I think that goes... I'll keep that in the bundle. Let me get the... book. That's truly like the last thing I could work on. Inventory stuff. That's all kind of related. Obsidian I don't really need anymore. Iron air. I got plenty of arrows. Saddle on. I guess I'll keep in that corner there. Plenty of building blocks. That's what I really need. Water, leathers, all that's kind of useful. Gas tiers, something I want to have. I do actually want the gunpowder. So I could just splash myself that. What I need to do real quick is get enough for normal bottles. So I can make a few different potions. My plan is to make a strength potion or two. As well as... whatchamacallit? A few strength potions. Hello? Game? Game. Upwards. Gold, I guess. Chicken. Wandering trader, do you have anything of value? No. Like, nothing I can use. Or even, like, trade for or do. Okay. I'm a little too diverse on food. It more so meant that I just want a lot of food. Let me get that boat I wanted. I don't really need wood anymore. I can trade that out. I don't have enough other resources. I don't need the obsidian anymore. It's not really useful. Feathers. It's this, right? Yeah. And then, I guess get more salmon. Just stock up on that. See a destroyed portal over there. How far do you think Midas would get in Minecraft? Assuming he can just make golden apples by touching them, I would assume very far. Like, that's a power that's very useful in this really specific particular universe. So I'll head over there once I'm... Get rid of the bread. I don't need the bread. Alright, let me also... okay. Let's get a sense of where we're even going. That direction. This is really not enough food, honestly. But it will have to do. That's the most recent item, so I'll just be able to grab it out. Okay. I mean, this is another really good run. This one has high probability of winning. That gold helmet will have to go. That's not surviving that fight. So, this is the second playthrough of the day. First one lasted around 20 minutes, right? So, we're about a little under 2 hours into this playthrough, 2 hours into, a little under 2 hours into the stream total. What are you most excited for in Hytale? Honestly, just a refined core, like, experience in many regards. Like, I like the combat looks so much better than what Minecraft has. It's kind of one of those anything is better than what Minecraft has scenarios. But the animation looks better, the balance looks better. I mean, not balance, because it's going to be unbalanced, but the premise they're going for the combat is more interesting and engaging than what Minecraft has. The flow of it looks better and more interesting. I would say, other than some of the faces for the player models, the presentation of the game looks leagues better visually. What if you take a gas into the end? I guess it just floats around in the end. Okay. So, oh, we're already close. Annoyingly, it's probably going to be underwater, though. I find it funny that it still says respawn point set even in hardcore, where you have no respawn point. Every time I see that message, it makes me freaked out. I'm like, am I really on hardcore? And then I look at my hearts and I'm like, yeah, I'm in hardcore. I don't need kelp. It is not worth it as a food source. If you could make sushi, it'd be worth it as a food source. But alas, you can't. It is underwater. Okay. That's a pain. Let's see, where exactly is it? I want to be as close as possible so I do as little mining underwater as possible. Okay, so it's right down, like, here-ish. Oh. Well, there it is. Mazel tov. Okay. Let's do some splunking. Diamonds? No. I guess I should take that bread. I still have some left in my inventory, and it's better to have it than not. Like, every food item I can get is kind of useful. How do these even work? I don't really understand the fortress's like layout generation, how it happens. Why have horse armor? I had a horse armor in the event that I found a horse and it was really far away. It ended up being way closer. I didn't know. I grabbed it when I was in the Nether, and I'm like, oh, maybe. Who knows? I think I already went through here. There goes the helmet. So I completely admit the horse armor will be gotten rid of basically at the first chance. Well. Actually a little low now. Not gonna bother fighting you. Okay. Wrong item. Okay, further down. Further up. Maybe this doesn't have a button. Alright. I've already been here, right? Let me put away the diamond horse armor and saddle if I'm not fighting, or if I'm not writing anything. Gold. Yeah, I guess I'll take the gold. Why not? I can't do anything with... actually, let me take the iron helmet. Save me a little bit of resources. Oh, that's a good sound. Yep, there we are. Alright, final stretch. Let's see, what are we working on? Okay. 3 more. Which actually works out pretty well. So that gives me 1 extra left over for potion crafting. Okay. Let's strategize some. Sort out some of the final steps here. All right. Brewing stand. Okay, get that. Pip. Let me lock this off while I'm in here. I don't even have gravel. Not anymore, at least. Okay. This and that. Okay. I'm gonna save one of these. So, these two, they're going to be, whatchamacallit. These two are going to be regen potions. Let me actually peer down into what's in this cave down here. Because if it has redstone, I can extend the duration. Yes. Okay. I got what I wanted. Is there a... Okay, this is bad. I also have gravel now, so let me get a few more arrows worth of supplies. Game. There we go. Okay. Regen potions. Duration first. Okay. So, long-lasting regeneration. Yeah, I am trying to eat. I just didn't realize how low I was. Generation. Okay. Let's get that started real quick. Get rid of the nether wart. Generation. Furnace. I won't need for that for the final fight. That's book. Don't need that. With only 6 diamonds left, it's kind of awkward. Like these potions. Can you stack extended time on splash potions, by the way? I want to know that before I try to do that. I guess I do helmet now. I know it's a waste of that final diamond, but... Protection... Sure. Strength. Okay. And now... Because I'll do duration before I do splash. Yeah, diamond helmet, that was my plan. Let me put the remaining one away. We got extended duration. Okay, we got plenty of strength. Kill a dragon with diamond hand. That's not really practical, but I'll keep it. Why not? Yeah, can I stack extended duration on splash potions? That's the last thing I want to know before I do that. Go for feather falling boots. You know, you're not wrong. Hey, yeah, actually. Here, I'll wear these for the first half, I think. First half of the fight. You can, okay. Then let's make these. I want the regen to be a bit more of an emergency thing. Yeah, lucky diamond. And now let's get a few more arrows from the Scrabble. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay. They don't affect it at all. So we're good on that front. I guess I'll drink this, and then I'll have this on standby. I can kind of toss the axe at this point. It's not going to be particularly helpful. Pretty sure, yeah, the damage is better on... Yeah. The water bucket's the next major item to have. Ender pearls, not bad to have. Okay. Craft a few more arrows while I can. Bread, don't need it. Paper, don't need it. Bundle, don't need it. Food, I got a decent amount. Lapis, I don't need it. String, I really don't need it. I'm keeping the axe just in case. I don't know why not. Iron, I really don't need. I'll take it just in case I need to make a shield in an emergency. That's the same reason I want to have the crafting table. My shield should be pretty good, but you know what? Just to save myself from having to do it in a panic, I'm going to make another shield and have this as my primary shield. That'd help with damage, yeah, but it can also kill me. So I'm not doing it. I'm not doing bed strats. It's too prone to self-suicide. Let me see if I can get better leggings, I guess. Projectile protection. Let's see what this gets me. You know what? Let's really push this. Knockback explosion resistance. Oh, it explains what it does now. Yeah, that actually might be helpful. Okay, it's in the top right corner. Need the lapis. Keep this. I think this is better for like the. I want more. This for the first half while I'm on towers and stuff. Okay, so before I go into the end, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Yeah, I could put it in the Stronghold library, but I don't want to find that. I don't want to risk dying to something dumb and wasting food and all that to recover. So I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. This will literally take a few seconds. Hold on. All right. This is the beginning of the end. Water buckets on 2. Salmon's over here. Enderpearl's over here. Regen, strength. Water bucket. Okay. Here we go. Don't look at the Enderman. Go in from the back on the dragon. Okay, not bad. Pillar spawns. Looks like, or at least like ones I can take down pretty quickly. I need to keep moving. That's why I can't stop before a tower too long. Okay, 1, 2 down. You took that for the tower. There, another down. Now let's go back to this one. Come on. Come on. Whatever. That's a little annoying. Okay, I was really worried I had aggroed that Enderman somehow. Like, I could believably have killed it, but... Okay. Got plenty of arrows. Okay. We're still good on arrows. What the hell? Most major towers down now. Okay. Okay. I'm playing a risky game. I know it. Is this done yet? Stupid cursed purple fog of hell. Okay, one left. Okay, we're done. Done. Now we shoot this prick every chance we get. Whittle down its health somewhat. I'm not good at hitting those shots. Okay, where's the head going? Okay. Fuck! I didn't land the bucket clutch. That wouldn't have saved me. Nothing would have saved me there. Even the feather falling wouldn't have helped, I think. I had ender pearls! I had it. I forgot about it. I completely forgot I had ender pearls because I... What is this, 34? 34. Okay. Takeaway from that, diamond gear is worth it if you're in a good cave. That was my takeaway. No, that bad knockback is what can kill a lot of runs like that. That's why you have ender pearls usually stock up. Remember, I have ender pearls. Get diamonds if they're available. Like, I don't think it's worth it to try and force a run to hinge on diamonds. But get diamonds if they're available. I just didn't think. I was planning on the water bucket clutch. There was a safer option and I didn't use it. This is part of why I say I'm not good at Minecraft. Like, the decision-making you need for those kind of moments are so important. Pearls. I have too much time today to also, like, stop streaming is the thing. Um, try to grind for netherite. I don't even think that would have saved me. Maybe feather falling netherite boots would have, but I'm trying to not take 3 hours to beat Minecraft. It wouldn't even be 3 hours, it would be more than that. Netherite takes ages to get. Looks like there's better food stuff over this way, or better biomes for food. Yeah. No, I wasn't thinking. I had all the time to do it too. I should have paused. You know what? That might have been a cheap strategy, but I should have paused to like reassess things. Lava pool, that's good. It'd be funny if I got netherite this run, but I wouldn't count on it. Let me mark this lava pool. Because it's near a good cave. Or a good looking cave. 149, 64, 102, lava. Because if I just get food, get iron from that cave, I can go straight into the nether. Which I found is deceptively... Like, I'm a lot better with fortresses than when I started this. I think I didn't have a good sense on the range of wither skeletons attacking. I was under the general impression I was in more danger than I usually was. Yeah, and I would have to go to a Bastion to get the netherite template. The slow falling effect, as in like levitate? Or like feather falling? Yeah, it would. If I got feather falling stuff. What do you need for feather falling enchant potion again? Maybe I should get that if I can. I don't remember what you even use for it. How many times have I reached the end? I think 5. Phantom. I thought that was levitate, though. I thought... Okay. Well, I'll kill a phantom then, keep the membrane. That might be worth bringing into the end. Yeah, that was a less dumb death, I will say, than the last dragon death. The last dragon death, I just wasn't thinking at all. This one, I thought something, I just didn't think the right thing. Yeah, okay, well, here's the thing. The bow and arrow seem safe on paper until you realize that if you accidentally hit an enderman with an arrow, it will aggro them, and also looking up causes you to accidentally aggro a lot of endermen anyway. So I do not consider the bow that much of a safer option, and it relies on me being able to hit the ender dragon, which is a hit or miss, quite literally. But I actually think this run can work if I just find a food source. This is not a terrible spawn. We have a lot of the essentials needed for a good world. We just need kind of the last bit of progression stuff. I don't like having 2 different woods in my inventory at a time. I usually avoid that, but whatever. So yeah, we got some food stuff. Sometimes I get into this bad habit where if the initial swing didn't kill something, I'll try to spam click to get that last bit of health. Bed is definitely the fastest, don't get me wrong. Like I said, though, I am not good at bed stuff. I actually have tried it a few times. But it's one of those things I don't, like, understand well enough conceptually to pull off well. Like the fundamental skill set, the rationale. Like I understand why it works, and I even kind of in my head know what it looks like to use bed strats, but like executing them is another story. I do think there's kind of a safety in speed where it's like if you can get it done with right away, who cares, you know? There we go. This is what I was looking for. Unfortunately, though, if we want slow fall, we actually can't use a bed. But the food is definitely appreciated. Let me... Oh, looks like there's a cave here. Well, that'll work. Well, maybe not a full cave, but... Are you kidding me? Well, this will kill the run. I can't... What do I have the least of? That wastes so much food just so I can survive this fucking skeleton fight. There we go. Did I not make a stone pickaxe? Or did I drop it? What happened there? Yeah, I think that's... I understand that premise of the bed strategy. Maybe I'll try it. I'm a little worried about getting a run to the end, then dying to explosion damage. I think that is... Because I've tried that ages ago. I tried to do bed strats, and it killed me a few times. Um... Like I said, it's something to keep in mind. It is something on the table. Make a crossbow. That would also potentially be useful. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of how crossbows fire. Uh, it's a waste, but I need to get moving. I need to get into a cave before nightfall. Because if I'm just running out in the open, it's a lot of chances to get hit, a ton. In my experience, it's better to just be in the cave already trying to progress. Like this. Yeah, I know why the crossbow is useful in that fight. Um, And I think I will next time. I think it's a worthwhile strategy. Or at least option to try. Do crossbows and bows deal the same amount of damage, or do they have different stats in that regard? This is not the cave I thought it would be. Crossbows can fire fireworks. Can I make those with that? You don't need a nether star, right, for fireworks? They're just like paper and TNT. Maybe that'll be worth it. Fireworks might actually be worth it. That's a genuine option I have to consider. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that actually might be, because they don't fire in an arc, do they? They just kind of fire like a straight projectile, which might help me some. So I might try to start work on not only getting a crossbow, but getting fireworks. Or getting gunpowder for fireworks. And, you know, the ever-reliable... whatchamacallit, the ever-reliable... bow, air... What am I thinking? Ever-reliable splash potion. That's what I was going to say. Which gunpowder also contributes to. Whoa! Where's the water even coming from? I can make that. Okay, let's... If I were to say one good thing about the balance of Minecraft, they were smart to make creepers pretty easy to kill. I think if creepers were a 4-hit enemy or something like that, they would be a nightmare to deal with. But they stay about a little bit of a 2-hit enemy throughout most of the game. Okay. Okay. Four gunpowder. If I get, like, nothing better this run, I might just go for the Nether speedrun. I mean, this is an impressive cave. Two. That's enough for a crossbow, right? Pretty sure. Part of the reason I kind of just want to, like, go into playing way too fast and loose around stalagmites. Is I found I've had weirdly not good luck, but I like it hasn't actually changed how I interact with the Nether that much to have better gear at this point. I have to play it a little safer. But that has potential. Maybe what's been holding me back this whole time is the fact that I haven't had a spruce boat. Maybe it was the material of my boat that was holding me back. Oak, you can find it anywhere. Spruce? Maybe we're onto something there. And enough for a sword. Not a bucket. I need more. Definitely getting experience, I guess. Careful not to fall in the stalagmites. Those would have one-shot me from that height. I'm stuck in something. Okay, no, it was rubber banding. Okay, let's... Never mind. Not worth it. I mean, maybe worth to kill a few. String is a deceptively helpful resource. Okay. I wanted one extra for a bundle. I got a little bit of extra iron. I could use a bit more always. The new rule of thumb for this playthrough though is fight every creeper I can find. There's the helmet. Okay. Since this is a good big... Oh, wow. Since this is a really good big cave, let me just, like, push this cave to its limits. Why not? I've got full gear. I'm decently well stocked, except for food. And my patience was rewarded. Let me see if I can find a way to easily get out of here and like go back and forth. This might be because like the surface is like right. Like it wouldn't be that hard to. I got a decent amount of food, but I really don't have enough food to tough it out here for super long. So let me grab bucket here, and then we'll get like a water elevator up to near the surface, then I'll be able to just like head down back and forth. Go to 1958 214. Okay. Now let me get more food. And we can continue splunking. Might have a good food source coming up, actually. And there's a lava pool here. So, we're kind of in an ideal spot right now. There's the plains here, there's food from the village. Hmm. Ooh. There's no hay bales around. Okay, I say... Ignore me sometimes. Yeah, I'm in here? No. I mean, the bookshelves are neat. Okay, this... and a few snowballs might be worth it. Might even be... Is that a portal frame? I think if I grab the other potatoes over here, this will be basically enough for my purposes, food-wise. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm the potato famine this time around. This is basically how the real potato famine happened anyway. I can make the portal up here. Yeah, it is kind of weird how Steve is, like, inarguably a magic user. Or at least is inarguably capable of magic. But the uses for the magic in Minecraft seem really weird. Like potions, okay, makes sense. Like a fantasy staple. Diamonds there. Right. I have no questions about potions being in the game. That was real inefficient. But like, why stop there? Why not learn to make your own fireball projectiles to counter all the things that can shoot fireballs at you in this game? Steve? Like, you would think that would be a thing you would really want to learn to do. It's also like a classic fantasy ability. I don't see why you wouldn't have that in your power set if you could. Which would, if the implication is he can't do that, it's kind of weird that it seems like the only magic he can do is coding things in magic that can shoot fire, or not shoot fire, but have fire-based properties. I mean, he can speak an ancient magical language that clearly can do stuff like shoot vexes and all that in this game, in this world. Like, we see the Illagers do that shit, why can't we? How are there not spell books that... like Illagers drop that we can use? I can understand if he doesn't know how to, like, make the spells from nothing. You know, like, if he didn't have that as an option. But, like, we should be able to enchant spell books that you just, like, fire basic spells. it seems like conceptually reasonable to me based on how this world works. Like, clearly this magic does exist. Other entities in this world use it. So it really is just weird that Steve, in particular, can't, amongst all the other magical things he seems to be able to do. More. Okay. I think this might be even more diamonds than last time. This is kind of what I was saying. It's like, if you get a good cave, it's actually not that hard to stock up a lot. So this might be... This might be what I go for moving forward. That's scary lava. Ooh, that's plenty more diamonds. I think I might be able to get a full thing of equipment. Yeah, I don't question the idea that he doesn't know all forms of magic. I question why he can't obtain ways to use the magic he doesn't know. That's what stands out to me as a little bit weirder. Because for, like, other things that Steve doesn't seem to know how to make or harness, like the trident, he knows enchantments for tridents, or at least whatever the enchantment table works allows for it, which is weird. And he knows how to use a trident, which is weird. But he doesn't know how to make one. And stuff like that. But it's like, so I'm like, I can understand if it's like, oh, we just leave certain items to be drops for the sake of gameplay or whatever. I understand that facet of, like, the game balance and design, maybe. But I find it fascinating that there's no way to obtain the spells that we do know of in this world in some form. Like I said, it's weird that the evokers don't drop their spells that we see them use spell books. More diamond. And dungeon for what that's worth. Another bucket's not bad to have, and more string's always useful. Bread, more gunpowder. That's actually pretty good in this particular run and strategy. That's not enough wheat to actually matter. More gunpowder's good. This might be the blow the Ender Dragon up run. They deal, like, a lot of damage to my knowledge, right? The rockets, fireworks. I'm not entirely sure how they work, admittedly. I don't know if it's just like an ammo preference thing, or like, you don't make firework arrows, right? You make fireworks. Like, as their own individual item. I'll have to, like, make a couple test ones, just, like, practice how they work. Because if I don't know the arc or whatever they exist in... I'll waste, like, a few shots not landing anything. So, so far in this run, very well equipped. frighteningly well stocked now. I don't see many more diamonds. That's kind of the last major thing I'm... Because, once again, right? The minimum for, like, the full stuff is... So it's 7... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get all... I mean, I would be able to get some decent gear. But I... Honestly, even the gear doesn't seem like it was the problem last time. Far from it. What it really feels like I need... I need to use that library. I need to use that for the better enchantments. And it really feels like I need a lot of paper this time, in particular, because I need that for the rockets. And I'll polish off this gold, too. Some good trades, I think, could really help this run. What's the recipe for fireworks again? It's paper, gunpowder... What? What's the last thing? Maybe I could add one thing to the game. What would be? Spellbooks. Easily. Like, the end update is like the easy thing to say, you know? It's like the thing that's on, I feel like, almost everyone's mind. But that's not really a one thing. You know? That's not like a... That's one huge, like, sweeping change based on how they approached updating the Nether. So, like, one thing would just be, like... You scare me. You spearman. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm looking for and successfully finding. This is not lapis. I need lapis. Have I just passed up the lapis? I blind. It's more likely than you think. I mean, how else will I miss the fact that I had ender pearls in my inventory last run? Which, speaking of, that definitely reinforces the need to get extra ender pearls. In case that wasn't, like, a priority enough. There's a reason I always want to go for, like, a stack if possible. Maybe there's more Maybe I just missed some near the kind of safe area. I feel like I must have... It's such a huge cave. I refuse to believe that there's, like, no lapis anywhere. It's gotta be just, like, somewhere I didn't look. Well... That's a little more. Five, 7. Oh. That might... Let's see, right? No, it's not quite a full set of armor on top of the tools, but... That's damn near close to it. Okay, I'm getting a little stuck on this chunk of the progression now. Nowhere near dying, but I am wasting resources, basically. Gathering resources, ironically enough. Got iron, I'm not really worried about more iron. I'm not completely blind, right? I haven't been passing up tons of lapis everywhere I go. Okay, this is my equipment, so I'm back where... How did I... No, okay, that's not diamonds, that's zombie. I thought there was, like, diamonds right here that I missed somehow. On the bright side, I have all the goddamn gold in the world. I'm a walking Fort Knox. I need lapis for an enchantment table. Come on. I feel like a fool. Oh, there's more diamonds. I've found significantly more diamonds than lapis this run. When I get that full set of diamonds that this is, I'm pretty sure this marks 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. 15 for the base. 4 for the boots. So 19. 5 for the helmet. 24. So I'm like 1 short of a full set. This is insanity. Am I like the wrong elevation? Is there like something I'm doing wrong? I feel like lapis can spawn anywhere. Or there's my missing diamond. I don't even know what I do with this much at this point. I can make multiple bows. Well, we'll consider this the diamond run, I guess. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, well, I guess I can enchant multiple items, test them all out, see what I can get for the best. And I would say enchant if I could find lapis. Diamond crossbows. I wish. Like, genuinely, am I, like, missing something? Is there a wrong elevation for lapis to spawn? Let me go up some, see if I find some here. Oh, that was close. If I died in this run, that would be... I would end the stream. I have more resources than I've ever had. Just trying to think where I haven't looked yet. There we go. That's pretty good. Is there any more I can find? More diamonds, I'll tell you that. If I didn't have full equipment before, I'm pretty sure 37 diamonds is enough now. I can already tell I'm going to lose this run. I'm just going to save you the foreshadowing. There's no way. Like, we're gonna get to the nether portal, right? It's going to look great. It's going to be like there's a ender forest in eyesight. Maybe not right next to us, but like in plausible walking distance. There's the rest. Okay, I'm going to stop when I get this stuff. I get a stack of fucking diamonds this run. And lose. That will sum up all my attempts at Minecraft. Thus far. A near perfect summary, in fact. Like, I can prepare all I want. But inevitably, I will be knocked into like a pit of lava with no fire resistance potions because I never encountered any pigmen. So I couldn't use any of the gold I got. My armor didn't matter. It's not strong enough. Let's see, what else could happen that could kill a perfectly otherwise good run? This.